Hey folks, Country Prepper here. Well, I had a lot of people on my 10 steps to get started prepping video. I got a lot of comments on that video for what would you do for a very basic bug out bag, and that's what I'm here for today. With all the tropical storms and things like that going on, there's a lot of extreme weather going on lately, so this is for the beginner prepper, or for someone who's just doing the basics, you know, natural disasters, things like that. Just a very, very basic bug out bag. This is not in any terms, in any way, a shit hit the fan type of bug out bag. So, and it's going to be very obvious by the things I've chosen to put in here. Now, I had one person contact me asking if I could build a bug out bag based on things that I could get from around the house or things that I could pick up like at Walmart. So I think she was in the path of Tropical Storm Erica, I believe it was, down in Florida. So this is what this bag is based off of. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started pulling things out of here. First thing I'm going to mention, your most important resource that you can carry is water. And if you're able to leave in a vehicle, I really highly recommend having some water in that vehicle. And then if you get into a gridlock situation where you have to take off on foot, drink as much of that water as you can before you take off. And if you can carry, you know, like if you have gallon jugs, if you can carry a gallon or two, I highly recommend it, because water is going to be your biggest resource. And especially if you're in a hurricane or flooding type of situation, a filter straw is really not going to do you any good, because that water is so contaminated that I wouldn't even trust any type of water filter straw on the market. So I would suggest carrying just as much water as you possibly can, and keep in mind that your body is the best container you have. So fill up on water and carry as much as you can. That's the first thing I want to start off with. Second thing, kind of limited on view space here, so I'm going to do what I can to stay in frame. Next thing is going to be your first aid kit. And this is just a basic one you can pick up at Walmart, but I would suggest adding a few things to it. In here, I have added some rolled gauze, compression bandage, gloves, tweezers, a scalpel, some hand warmers. Even if you're in a tropical climate, hand warmers can come in handy if you need like a cold and then hot compress for a wound, something like that for some type of injury. Those will come in very handy for something like that. And then also your cold compress. So other things that I've added, the clotting sponge. And the reason that I like the clotting sponge is I was told by an actual EMT that the granules have to be dug out and cleaned up out of any kind of a wound, any kind of a traumatic wound. They have to be cleaned out before they can be attended to by a doctor. So you're going to want to use the sponge instead of the granules. The granules, like I said, they got to be dug out, and so that's going to make that wound hurt even worse than it already does. So you really don't need that in that type of situation. Other than that, I have some sting relief. I have some, what is this, BioFreeze, that's kind of like icy hot. They have those in little packets. You know, gauze pads, antibiotic ointment, anti-diarrheal meds, you know, Pepto-Bismol, things for your stomach. Those are very important. You know, ibuprofen, Tylenol, things like that, fever reducers, anti-inflammatories, which is ibuprofen, things of that nature. So I also have a few very small, a couple of tongue depressors. You know, there's quite a bit that you can add to a first aid kit. So that's just kind of some of the basics. Next thing in here, some extra clothes, and keep them in a waterproof sack. If you can get an actual dry sack, that would be great, but you can just put them in, you know, a large Ziploc bag. I have an extra t-shirt, an extra pair of underwear, and 2 pairs of socks in here. So you got to really take care of your feet, especially if you're in a wet type of situation like that. Next thing, pair of gloves. All the debris and stuff that's going to be floating around in the water. If you got to get some stuff out of your way, you're not going to want to cut up your hands if you're in flood zone like that. So good pair of gloves is a great idea. One thing that I forgot that just popped into my head is a good pair of safety glasses. That would be something important. You want to keep things out of your eyes. Your eyes are very important as well. Next thing, this is going by the stuff you can get at Walmart. This is a 5x7 tarp that you get at Walmart. And if it's folded up right, I folded this up a little tighter than when it came, but you can get some paracord, this 50 feet of paracord, in the sack with the tarp. So comes with a decent drawstring sack, 5x7, and these are only like $10. So good thing to have with you just in case you got to get out of the weather for a little while. Next thing, duct tape. You can compress this down, break it down, or you could re-roll it onto something to save some space. This is just in here for, sake of having it in the video. So I need to get one rolled up tight for my own bug out bag. Next thing, just some basic, take care of yourself, clean yourself up type things. Some Listerine, that's good for, you can use it to treat a wound. Also, take care of your mouth while you're out there. Have some, I'll just go ahead and open this. I've got a toothbrush and toothpaste. Also have wet ones. Great for keeping yourself cleaned up, clean up your hands, all your crevices. Gotta think about hygiene, even in these kind of situations. Hand sanitizer, also a great idea. Also a great fire starter. These wet ones, don't just throw those out after you use them. Once you dry them out, you can use them as tinder. So that's just some basic things. Obviously, if you're a woman, you're going to carry a few more things than I would, but just keep that in mind. Next thing is, I have a 55-gallon drum liner, and these come in a really big box, but one or two of these, it's just a great addition to have just in case, if you need to lay down for a little while, get some rest. Fill it full of leaves, makes for good bedding. It also makes for a good shelter if something happens to your tarp. It can also be used in a pinch as a rain poncho. Keep yourself dry. So that's everything I have in the main compartment of this bag. Top compartment. Now, even though this is not a shit hit the fan type of bug out bag, I still think that fire is important. Even if you're in a warm climate, sometimes you just need to get dried out. So with going with the theme of things you can get at Walmart, this is the fire starter I would recommend. This is actually the Bear Grylls fire starter. Walmart does carry some other ones from Ultimate Survival Technologies, but perfectly honest, I do not recommend them. They are hit and miss on the strikers, and sometimes those ferro rods are pretty soft. So I've had a couple of these. They are well worth the money that you pay for them. And they even have, if I can get this cap to pop off, they even have a little spot so you can put some tinder in there, just a little cotton ball. Just the very last, last ditch backup cotton ball that if you need it. So also throw some Bics in there. If you're in a dry, if it's actually you're dry, if these are dry, you're gonna, if you need a fire, get it started as fast as you can. And with that said, surefire tinders. These are wet fires. What I mean by surefire is no matter the condition, they will light on fire. And that's what wet fires are good for. There's plenty of brands. SOL or Survive Outdoors Longer, Adventure Medical Kits, same company. They make some good ones. There's also, at Walmart, they have what is called a zip fire starter. Some Walmarts have them, some don't. So keep that in mind, but keep an eye out for those. Those are really good fire starters as well. The next thing, these are also a fire starter, and this is also something that you can only find at Walmart. And I'll be doing a review on these very soon. So these are the Orion Search and Rescue Campfire Starter and Signal Flare. great dual purpose item. So, and these do burn very, very hot. So if you need to get a fire started in a really big hurry, this is your key right here. Next thing, I don't know what your EDC is, but if nothing else, depends on the laws of your state, if you can carry a fixed blade. If you're in a state of emergency, I doubt they're going to bother checking you for a fixed blade knife or the length of your fixed blade knife. It all depends on what kind of trouble you're getting into. But at the very least, carry a good folding knife, some kind of knife. So, and that is in redundancy too. I also recommend a good multi-tool. This is my Leatherman rebar, but I don't think they have that at Walmart. They might have the stainless steel version, but mainly because it has a good pair of pliers, has a saw, and you know it's a multi-tool. So plenty of different tools just in case you need them. At Walmart, the one that I do know that they have is the Leatherman Wingman, and that is a very inexpensive, but also a very respectable multi-tool. So it is made by Leatherman, so I do think it is a good one. That's it for that pouch. Last but not least, couple of energy shots or some type of caffeine alternative, because you're not going to be able to stop at the local gas station and grab yourself a Mountain Dew. Most Americans have an addiction to caffeine, so the last thing you want is a caffeine headache when you're in a bug out situation. So that's why I have these in here, but you could also get like, I think they're called Vivarin, or you know, just any type of a caffeine supplement, you know, a pill or energy shots, something, so that you have some caffeine, so that you don't have that giant head feeling from caffeine withdrawal. Next thing, well, this is just a little emergency poncho. Don't get these little cheap throwaway ones. This is something that just came in a kit. I have a bigger military style poncho, but this is just in here for, you know, to show you guys, just for an example. Get a little better poncho than that, but do have a poncho. I'm pretty sure if you're in a tropical area, well, any area this time of year, unless you're, you know, in Alaska or northern Canada, something like that, you're going to want some bug spray in the summertime. So next, well, these kind of go hand in hand here. So this, if I can get the cord out of here, it's in here somewhere, there it is. A way to recharge your phone. This is just a little power bank. Now this will recharge my phone, Galaxy S4, one time, but also this is a all-weather radio. This is just for an example. They have different ones at Walmart. Energizer makes a good one. There's also plenty of them on Amazon. If you have time to order one, I highly suggest it. I believe the Red Cross has their brand on several different kinds of crank flashlight, weather radio. This is a flashlight, weather radio, and it'll charge your phone, all with a crank dynamo. So I highly recommend having something like this. If nothing else, at least the flashlight. Energizer makes a good one they have at Walmart, and that way you don't have to carry batteries, you don't have to rely on batteries. This will charge itself and hold a charge for a long time. So that's why I recommend something like that. Don't forget the cord. I have put things like this in a kit and forgotten the cord, and my phone went dead anyway. So next thing is signaling, another signaling device, a couple of cheap glow sticks. No good reason not to have them in there. They're light, and if you put them on a piece of string of any kind, whip them around in a circle, it makes a great signaling device. And last but not least, navigation. They don't have this compass in particular at Walmart, but they do have some similar. There's several different compasses on the market. This is a military style one from Brunton. So pretty good compass. Don't forget a map of where you live. I live in Iowa, so I have an Iowa map. Wherever you live, get a map for the entire state, because you just never know where you're going to end up. So that is everything that's in the bag. As far as the bag goes, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to be anything expensive. This one was like 25 bucks at Walmart. This is my stepson's school bag. So if that tells you anything, it is held up for 2 years. So I believe it's made by Russell. Yeah. So it doesn't really matter what kind of bag it is, but you might want to have something that is, more, I guess, not tactical, for lack of a better term, and just so that you blend in better. In a situation like that, you just never know what kind of people are going to be around, so if you have tactical gear, they're going to pay more attention to you. So that is just what I thought would be a good amount of stuff for a basic bug out bag for natural disasters or for a beginner prepper. So as always, I always ask for your comments, your suggestions. I can't always think of everything. I put a lot of thought into this, but I may have missed something important. So leave me your comments, guys. I always appreciate it. And I thank you very much for watching. Go check me out on Facebook. That is facebook.com/country prepper. Follow me on Twitter. And don't forget to give this a thumbs up and share. So thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.